Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to Start Your Systems TV. I am, of course, Kellen Brower, live here, ready to bring you guys the action for round number 2 of the 2024 AOMX MX Bikes Championship, of course, in MX Bikes, from Spring Creek. Thunder Valley last week was a ton of fun to kick off that championship. And, of course, we saw Rax get the job done there. Sounds like Cam, who was in the mix from the opening round last week, who, of course, we interviewed in between motos at the opening round after battling for the win, is not here tonight, it seems. So he is already someone that we're looking at maybe not being a contender moving forward for the championship, but we do have a couple other fresh faces showing up that we have seen on the ARL stage throughout most of this year, and they will be sure to make a fun race for us here tonight, though it looks like Rax is going to try to lead this red plate in with Tyler J, or TJ, battling him close in second. So let's talk a little bit about the championship picture really quickly here. And then we'll jump back in with the AOMX guys to bring us into the race evening. But like I said, Rax won the opening round. TJ or Tyler J up there in second. Splash, they're in fourth place. Ethan rounded out the top 5. A lot of guys actually had some pretty decent points nights because even though Rax went 3-1, there's pretty mixed results behind that. So kind of could set us up for a bit more of a fun dynamic with the championship. But at least one round in of 12. Rax controlling the red plate and going to try to keep it controlled from there. Let's go ahead and try to get into bikes here and talk to the boys over at AOMX. We'll jump in with them now. So here we are now in the AOMX Discord with Dizzle and Talon, the boys who put it on. What's up, guys? How we doing tonight?
What's up, brother?
Yeah, brother!
Yeah. Trying to keep the night as stress-free as possible with qualifying and running it and all that.
Yeah, last week seems like everything went pretty smooth without a hitch. You guys happy with how the opening round went?
Yeah.
Yes, very happy. Yep. Yeah, I think everything went smoothly. We didn't really have too many issues other than that qualifying hiccup. But yeah, no, everything went good. Hopefully it goes as well tonight.
Good deal. Any surprises from the opening round for either of you guys, either with results or people who showed up or anything like that?
I don't know. It was a lot of the heavy hitters, like most of them that raced preseason round. There's a few that didn't show up round 1 that showed up tonight, like Washed and I think Chase as well. So, those guys will add a good mix into the top, and I think other than that, it went pretty much how we expected. Rax pulling off a win since he's the big favorite this year.
Absolutely. For you, Dizzle, you get to roll into tonight and go B final racing again. Stress levels are high, but I guess for you, it's probably also a little exciting that there's enough people to push you all the way back to the B final again. You guys have just a ton of people showing up for these races.
Yeah, man, it's looking good. We started off the series with round 1 being our most signups ever, and tonight we have our second most signups ever. So we don't have as many signups as round 1, but I think we have more heavy hitters. So I think the competition's a little bit heavier with less numbers. So yeah, man, this B main's gonna be hectic. I gotta pull something out of my behind once again.
Oh, man. I'll throw this to you, Talon. Of course, we're at Spring Creek this week, Thunder Valley. Last week, different kind of track structure, hilly, but maybe not as hilly as Spring Creek. How do you think this one will race tonight?
Well, I don't really have a good idea. In ARL, at least this year, unfortunately had some server issues, so it's kind of a little hard to race people. You could definitely hit other lines, but you couldn't really get close because people are going in and out. But also this year for this track, they made it's really a sand base. So a lot of people are running sand setups here, or most people are. At least I know we are here with our precision setup. So I think it'll race good, but yeah, that sand traction is just a little different from what you're used to in all the other rounds.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, obviously soil types are going to be a hot button topic throughout this championship because we're going all over the place from US to GP tracks and so on and so forth. Yeah, I guess for you guys, we're starting these first 2 rounds off US side, and I'm assuming both of you guys have already spent a fair amount of time on this track. Like, do you feel before we even go racing tonight, you're pretty comfortable on these tracks?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we both made it for ARL here, so we had that benefit of having that pace early on and being able to race people. But after having, I think it was like what, 3 months, maybe even just 1 month. I can't remember, but yeah, having that little bit of time off and having to come back into playing these tracks, it takes a little bit to find your rhythm again. But I think I found it pretty good. Dizzle said he was struggling a little bit with that.
Yeah, I wasn't really. I mean, I ended up only being like a tenth off of my ARL quality time, but yeah, I don't know. It's weird, man, because you grind all day during aerial, and then like you come back to some of these tracks. I feel like sometimes I'm faster than I was in aerial, and then sometimes I just can't touch that time ever again. So I don't know. It's weird, man.
Yeah, it just really depends. Like Dizzle said, he was a tenth quicker. I ended up being aerial, I was the cutoff with the 201, I think 5 or somewhere around there, but tonight I ended up running a 58.5. So it's like it varies between us, but it just really depends.
Yeah, fair enough. Looks like B finals getting lined up. Most of you guys are in the server. We can see a list on our screen now of who's in here ready to go racing for this B final. Last time, Dizzle, you had to come through the field a little bit. I guess this time just get a start and go away, huh?
Yeah, I'm gonna hope I get a good start. That last week's B main was tough because I went down early and I kind of got hit a couple times as I tried to get going. But when I caught up to around the 10th place battle, there was like 8 guys battling for it. But every time I caught up to the back of that pack, I went end to end across sections. So I really am amazed I even made it last week. So I don't know. Hopefully I get some good luck again tonight.
Right on. Well, we will wish you good luck, and hopefully that you can make it through and join 9 other riders going through. If you're just joining us here tonight, B final coming up here in just a few moments, round 2 of the AOMX Championship in MX Bikes. And the B final, B main, is basically a 10-minute plus 2-lap last chance qualifier. This is everybody that was not top 25 in qualifying has been pushed to the B final. So runners 26 through 60 in quali have to go to this one. And the top 10 out of this transfers to the main motos. There will be 2 main motos, so basically 3 races that you're going to see here tonight. And we're going to kick it off with the B final here starting in just a few moments. 10 minutes plus 2 laps. So we will get that started in just a moment. For you, Talon, what do you think about this? What's going to happen in this B final? What can we expect out of this racetrack and this group of riders?
It's always a little different. I raced a bunch of them last year. I got some good lap times in this year. These first 2 rounds, I didn't have to go through them, but it's sometimes it can be sketchy because a lot of these guys, they're not necessarily the fastest guys on track, but they can either stay up or they're good at riding defense. So it's like you may have more pace to pass them, but if they're blocking, riding a wide bike, it's really hard to make good passes. So a lot of times guys will just send it, and sometimes it could come out with a wreck. Sometimes it could be a good pass. You just never really know with these B mains.
Yeah, well, hopefully we get a good clean first turn. That's wishful thinking in MX Bikes, but this is one of those corners that it's probably going to be one of the worst ones that we'll see because it's a fast right-handed corner.
Yeah. Guys
swooping from the outside, and it gets really tight. We see a lot of first corners that stay fairly wide through the first maybe corner or 2, but this one, I mean, geez, you can maybe fit maybe 12 bikes across where the SpongeBob is in turn 1, so it tightens up quick.
Yeah, it's a little scary because a lot of guys on the outside, even during practice starts and some other league races we've done, they've tried to hold it pinned and just rip around the outside. A lot of times that ends up making them shoot either off this like outside little berm that's out there. Sometimes you could catch it, but like I said, most of the time you shoot off. Or there's people on the inside that are trying to do the same thing just to get as far inside as possible, and they end up overshooting it sometimes, trying to get like ahead of the pack, and they just go too far wide, and it ends up taking a lot of people out. So it really depends who you're racing against. If you don't get a good jump, a lot of times most people will back off. But if you think you're there, or if you're even with them, sometimes they will try to hold it around the outside and try to make a good move.
Yeah, absolutely. Alrighty, folks. So B final, B main coming up here in just a moment. We're going to get these guys loaded up on the gate. Most people just hanging out in the pits right now, checking it out. Got a couple guys just chatting with each other, maybe doing some practice starts. Do you do much practice starts, Talon? Is that something where you just sit there and you actually practice your starts, or you just wing it every time?
I've tried a bunch of techniques. Like there's the technique of sitting in third, second, shifting up immediately as soon as out of the gate, waiting a little bit down the straightaway. I don't really have good like starts on like like soft soil. On sand, I could get good starts, but the thing with this track, I think if you hear it correctly off the gate, it is soft soil and then it turns into sand, I think. So it's like, it's hard for me to get a jump here, but I don't know. It's hard. There's a bunch of techniques and I've tried all of them. Can't master any of them. So most time it's just praying I time it right.
Yeah. Technique. Got to use that technique to get off the gate well. And then through the first couple of corners leads us into the Millville Sand Whoops, the marquee feature. There's a lot of marquee features of Spring Creek, but the Sand Whoops are always tricky, especially so on MX bikes, because you definitely got to use your momentum and hopefully not bounce and pabobo off of one of these things, because they are tricky if you get them wrong.
Yeah, it's a lot of doubling them. These first 4 at the beginning of it, it's like this tiny roller, and then you got 2 small ones, and then the big one that kind of starts you into the rollers. It's a little sketchy because you have to go like full speed from the far right after that like landing like SpongeBob, and then you hook a hard left to the far inside of the SpongeBob on like the 3rd jump. So it's like, and with Paboso's physics, if your front tire or if you're a little sideways, your bike will kick out from under you. So it's finding that fine line between, wrecking and just, being able to hit it perfect and go fast.
Fair enough. And then, of course, through there, lead us into the Catapult all the way up and down Mount Martin a couple times. Like you guys said with the sandier base of this, how difficult is it to get a good drive and stay on it all the way up Mount Martin? Because it seems like you lose it very quickly if you don't get out of that bottom corner well.
Yeah, it's a little difficult. Like, I think you could use both the inside and outside. It just depends on how you set it up. But if you get the drive, you can hit the quad up here. But sometimes you can, I don't know, it's a bit even with tripling and then, doubling up or hitting the quad. So the drive, it's if you get a little squirrely, it can be difficult. But on these 450s, most of the time, if you get the turn good, it's mostly pretty easy to get up this hill.
Right on. Well, it looks like we are loading up and ready to go for our B final. Let's take a quick peek at who is on the gate in this one. There are our names. We got, quickly go down this real quick. We got Drake, Frank, Dr. Geo, Seawalk, Twister, Brian. Who else is right in there in the middle? Parker, Axis in here. Dizzle, of course. Who is that? I'm trying to get a name on that. We got Cass, Gyro, Kobaha, Austin C, Pack, Slow, Switcha, Peak, Cognizant, Joe-Man. They're all here. They're all ready to go. Let's back away and take a look at who gets off the line first. B final racing here at AOMX. Round 2 is off and running. It's like one of those Fantics maybe took a nose out first, trying to follow it into turn 1. Pax on the TGR bike gets through the corner clean. It looks like he is going to get away scot-free with that hole shot. And it is Pax TGR out front right away from the get-go. He's got Adam right behind him. And looks like that is Peak that's actually going to squeak through the middle and get around Pax as well. Or Pax gets back on side by side with him. The TGR teammates coming together. And Adam goes through the middle. He goes down off the right side of the track. Also going down was Dr. Geo. He had just made his way up in there. So now Peak goes to the lead over Pax. And then Brian, 75, Seawalk, all right up there in the mix. As we funnel through the Sand Whoops here on lap number 1. Peak is going to take us to the Catapult. And 10 riders go through. This is going to be a grueling 10-minute plus 2-lap race to try to survive on this track. As over the Catapult we go, and a good scenic view from overhead of what this jump looks like and how difficult it can be to get a drive to still actually clear it. Because sometimes it will take you down if you don't get it right. All right, bottom of Mount Martin, lap 1. Overhead view sees Peak and his teammate Pax. TGR boys, 1-2 going up the uphill. And Peak going for the quad, a little bit short. Pax went a little long on the triple, though. So Seawalk and Brian are going to close up a little bit. Cheesehead switches. And Cognizant pretty close up behind them as our leaders come down Mount Martin. There they go. So let's see what we got here. There's Brian, 75 in 4th. Cheeseheads almost went down. Switches Dizzle up the inside of Cognizant, trying to get him going down Mount Martin. And to the bottom of the hill we go. Gonna see a couple guys coming in behind. Lil Mitch, Adam, and Cast. So it looks like Cast is battling for this final transfer spot just behind Adam at the moment. We got guys side by side, almost dualies down this back straightaway. 3 riders together. Adam lays it over nicely and working his way to try to close the gap down. We got 6 riders pretty much nose to tail coming down the hill right here. 7 of them actually to the finish line jump. So Peak leads over Pax at the end of lap number 1. Brian in 3rd, Seawalk 4th, followed by Cheeseheads, and then this crazy battle behind Cheeseheads. Cognizant switches, Dizzle in there as well, and of course Adam with Cast and Lil Mitch now just bringing up the rear. Looks like Axis has found his way into the fray as well. There he is on the 417 trying to close up on Lil Mitch. We'll do a little follow cam here. That is our transfer spot right now though. Actually, oh, big crash, huge crash on this tabletop. A lot of guys just went down. Adam was down, Switcha was down. I think maybe Parker was down too. Of course, Cast hit the deck first, and that's going to change things up a little bit as Brian comes through the whoops in 3rd. And then look at this freight train right here. Dizzle now up into 4th. Cognizant, Lil Mitch, Seawalk, Axis, Parker, Kobaha in there, Switcha, Cast, Dr. Geo, Jack. Oh, and coming into your living room right there is Cheeseheads. He's going down. And then not too far back, there's still a pretty tight-knit group of about 6 guys going through, battling for about 15th spots. So this could go a lot of different ways with this group right here on the Catapult. And let's work our way back to the bottom of Mount Martin. There's Cognizant kind of bouncing through at the bottom. And, oh, we got someone stuck. That's Brian. Brian just getting over that little ledge right there, trying to get back on track. Oh, he's losing so many positions. Got it wrong on the uphill, and now you're seeing the penalty that you pay if you do. Look at how close everybody still is. Now coming off the top. And I don't even know where the transfer spot is because they're all so close together. 10th could be in 6th or 12th at this point. Oh, big crash. Brian gets together with Jack at the bottom of the hill. Lil Mitch gets into the back of Jack, and he goes down as well. Causes quite the kerfuffle here as Adam also comes back on from off track. So there is our leader. It's now Pax by the looks of it out front. Or, nope. Yeah, it is Pax. So Pax takes over the lead. There's Peak in 2nd. And then a bit of a gap back to Dizzle over the finish line jump in 3rd. Now we can kind of break this down a little bit. Cognizant 4th, Seawalk 5th, Parker 6th, Dr. Geo 7th, Cast in 8th. And then look at this freight train. Axis is in 9th, and Drake rounds out the top 10, but he's got Switcha, Brian, Lil Mitch, Kobaha all right behind him. And I feel like Drake wants to go get Axis for this position and not fall behind any other riders if he can. So let's stick with Drake of the Moto Factory program here for a minute. Swoops to the outside. Axis trying to sneak away up ahead of him ever so slightly. And into these dreaded rollers we go. So if these two can work together, there's a group of 4 or 5 guys up the road that they could run down. And Drake thought about an outside move on Axis, but it does not work right there in the end. So Axis gets back away. And we got a bit of a hold up. Cass was stuck at the end of the whoops, but he's able to regroup. Look at this, 4 or 5 riders in the air at the same time over the Catapult, and Cass goes down on the backside of it. He spun around, so Frank goes by, Switcha goes by. Here comes Brian and Kobaha on the uphill, and got to watch out if your axe is here because these guys are wanting to take advantage and make their way through if they can. Another rider down at the bottom of the hill. That was Drake, and Frank goes up the inside to pass both of them. He does. Drake gets hit by Frank, almost goes off the track. Bit of a drag race between Cognizant and Parker at the top of the hill. Now getting together was Frank and Drake at the top of the hill. Let's see if they both come back down the other side. Looks like Drake went off the track and allowed Axis, Switcha, and Cast all to go by. Axis is getting sideways, saves it off the track, and gets back on. Cognizant down at the bottom of the hill, also picking it up and losing 4 or 5 spots, then gets hit by Drake, who got kicked off the track himself, and Cognizant goes down again. My goodness gracious. So this battle for the final transfer spot is relentless. Dr. Geo still 6th. There's Parker 7th. Frank now looks like he's 8th ahead of Axis, and then 9, 10, 11, 12 all on your screen right there. Switcha, Drake, Cast going over the finish line jump together. And this could go so many different ways in the closing stages of this. Of course, 10 minutes plus 2 laps. You see the timer in the upper left-hand side of your screen kind of shows off how much time we do have left. But Axis is just holding a bit of a freight train up behind him right now. He's actually trying to run down Frank if he can, but Frank has got his eyes set on Parker. And into the whoops we go. Switch has got to run potentially on Axis going down that back straightaway. Not quite close enough just yet. So let's see what happens coming out of this corner to the other side. Get real nice and close with these two now. Whoa. Switcha looking inside. Not able to make it happen. We got a rider down. That was Frank at the end of the rollers, and he's going to lose all those positions as well. 5 riders nose to tail here going into the catapult. Oh, Triley's basically switch a dead air Leclerc it a little bit, but that's all right. And we got everybody getting turned on the uphill. Switch it down. Laid it over a little bit too much. And now, whoa, Drake and Frank got together again by the looks of it. Drake off the track, Frank going down. Axis went by, as did Cast. There's Switcha, Kobaha, Brian. Frank now gets going just in front of Cognizant. So let's peek back out to our leader if we can here for just a minute. Here he is, Pax, coming down the back straightaway. Looking to check in with about a minute 40-something seconds on the clock, maybe a minute 30. And we would probably have 4 to go because he'll get back. No, I don't think he will get back, actually. Sorry, we will have 3 to go this time by as Pax crosses the finish line jump. Dizzle is trying to close that gap down. He's got it down to about 5 seconds now, 4.1 to be exact. Then Seawalk, Peak, and Dr. Geo are together, 3, 4, 5. Parker has found a little bit of wiggle room in 6th. Drake 7th. Cast 8th. Axis 9th. And there's Kobaha now inside the top 10. Switcha, Jack, Brian, and Frank trying to keep it close. They're all chasing the man on the Cold Hearts Department, Yamaha, as he's off the track. So can these guys close down? We're going to look at Switcha of AOMX. Want to work on his Fantic, and it looks like a bit of a mistake just happened there for Drake. That's going to allow Kobaha into the picture. Now Kobaha, a mistake. Oh, big crash. Switcha down, entering the rollers right in front of our camera. Whoa, did someone just go flying into the creek? Oh, something just happened, but Switcha getting it going. Coming back the other way. So it looks like Jack is actually starting to close up a little bit. He was 14th at the start of the lap, and he is all over Kobaha now. Of course, Brian went backwards as well, so this is I think this is 9th and 10th as it runs. Look at this drag race on the uphill, though. Jack coming from a little bit back here to make a nice pass now on Kobaha, and he'll make it stick as well. Good move to get into what I believe is 9th place. All right, there is our leader, Pax. And Dizzle had closed up, just went down at the bottom of the hill, though, or at least off the track. And it's going to allow Seawalk, Peak, and Dr. Geo back into the picture a little bit. But the 2-lap board is about to come out for our race leader. There is Dizzle, and here is Pax coming down the hill. So Dizzle was, yeah, right on him. 1/10 down, and then crashed at the bottom of the hill. 2 laps to go now as Pax goes over the finish line jump. There is Dizzle. There is Seawalk. Peak. Oh, ends up backwards. Dr. Geo goes by. Peak has got to get it turned around and going. He's still 5th. And this chaos still going on back here. Cass now 6th ahead of Parker. Axis is 8th. Drake is 9th. Jack is 10th. And a little bit of a gap back to Kobaha in 11th. And that is probably going to be where the battles come from. Switcha and Brian have fallen off the trail just a little bit here. So let's see if Jack and Kobaha can get away. Looks like Kobaha does have some cuts. That is hurting him. Actually, Jack, I should say, has some cuts because he's further up here. Yeah, there he is, off track now, trying to run down Axis, but came across ahead of all these guys and is listed 10th, so has some penalties to his name that he'll have to deal with in total race time. But Drake, Axis, and Jack all still pretty tightly knit here through the rollers. In fact, whoa, 3 wide over that jump. Axis pushes Drake out a little bit. Oh, and then Jack hits that SpongeBob, comes to a stop. Axis and Drake into the catapult together, all crossed over. And Axis actually landed on the hillside on the right side of the track. So Drake is able to make that pass stick to the inside. And off he goes over to our race leader now. Pax coming down Mount Martin. So let's see if Dizzle's closing the gap down again. No, actually, Seawalk got by Dizzle, and Dr. Geo's going for a ride. He's down on the downhill. That's a huge crash, and the bike is still rolling, so that's going to take a minute to get up. He's got it spun around now just before Peak gets to the bottom of the hill, and now Cass is going to be right behind him as well. So it was looking a little bit more comfortable for Dr. Geo. He's now back to 6th, though. Axe is 7th, Jack 8th. And then Drake and Kobaha coming down the hill in 9th and 10th. That's allowed Parker back into the picture a little bit. Brian and Gyro with Ghost in a bit of a freight train coming down the hill. Whoa, Lil Mitch is yard sailing on his Suzuki. And is he taking LeSavage with him? No, I don't know how LeSavage and Cognizant just bounced off each other 4 times and didn't crash, but kudos to them for that. Peek back over to the race lead coming into the rollers by the looks of it. Yes, there he is, Pax. Gap coming down, though. And it looks like based on penalties, Dizzle actually in a spot to win this right now, even though he is in 3rd on track. Corrected time across the line last time by at least had Dizzle in the lead. But he just went off the track before the rollers, so that cost him some time. Meanwhile, Seawalk trying to close the gap down on Pax. It was about 3 seconds last time by. Pax has got to hold on for about a half a lap as we go through the catapult with Seawalk. Up the uphill step up and down the backside. Seawalk looks like he is comfortable in this position, though. Not pushing too hard. Would like to get the win, but more so just wants to make it into the show, as does everybody else in this server. Free Rider battle coming down, heading into Mountain Martin right now. That is Dr. Geo, Peak, and Cass, and it looks like Cass just got by Peak again. So Peak had made a pass and then got passed back. We got a rider down here. That's Drake. And now Drake and Kobaha are stacked up a little bit as Jack and Axis go on the uphill. Drake needs to get away a little bit here because he has some penalties that could keep him out. These guys back here, Parker, Gyro, all of them are trying to make amends for it. Meanwhile, your leader coming down the hill should be enough to get the win on corrected time, but either way, he did walk away in the server from this one. Pax, TGR, takes the win over the finish line jump. Little nice look back and kind of taunt there, but Seawalk crosses in 2nd. And corrected time does have Pax ahead of Seawalk. Let's see how close Dizzle is going to get. Dizzle over the line 7 seconds back. Dr. Geo and Cass come across. Cass gets Dr. Geo in corrected time, so they are through. And then Peak, Jack, Axis, they are in. So what's going to happen up here? Kobaha and Drake coming down the hill, but Drake needed to get away from that group behind him. So let's see how close it ends up being. Kobaha is over the line. Drake is over the line behind him in 10th. But he had some cuts. Let's see what happens. Gyro over the line is going to get 10th. Parker gets it, though, on corrected time. And Brian just misses out by the skin of his teeth. 39.096 back of the lead. 39.064. Parker was back. So Brian was the one with the least penalties in this group. But Parker just able to survive. Actually passed Drake and Gyro on corrected time. But unbelievable how close that was in time. Wow. Switcher coming across. A couple others still just waiting to get finished up here by the looks of it. Or has everybody else crossed? Now we got a couple stragglers back here. Hockey Drew, Cheeseheads. And Twister. Still coming down. Guys are all just trying to get there. Cheeseheads makes a last turn pass on Hockey Drew, so they're headed home early, but that's all right. They got to race tonight. Get a little B final action in as Twister finishes this race off for us. Frank, Slow, Adam, Joman all retired from this one. But it's Pax, Seawalk, Dizzle, Cass, Dr. Geo, Peak, Axis, Jack, Kobaha, and Parker going through to the main motos. What a race, what a ride that was as well. And our guy Dizzle, he's back with us now. Dizzle just made it in Could have had the win, man. You crashed or like went off the track in the whoops on the last lap, but corrected time, you were out front.
Yeah, I had those guys on cuts. They definitely, I think they had me on speed. I was just trying to be smart and safe, obviously, but yeah, back in it again. Two third places in a row in both first B mains.
Does this sets up gate pick for you too, right? Like your 28th gate pick now or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could be, yeah, something like that.
Ultimately, not much changes, but you could swoop the outside. Never know.
Yeah, no, we'll see what we can do. I mean, I'm usually pretty decent at starts. I almost looped it off of that start. I don't know what I was doing there. But yeah, I managed to make it through unscathed somehow.
All right, well, B final in the books, and that means the A races are coming up next. 2 20-minute plus 2-lap motos, 35 riders about to go to the gate, and we'll get them lined up here in just a minute. Oh my goodness, what a wild race that was, though. I know you weren't really in it, Dizzle, but behind you there was another battle 5th to 15th pretty much all together the whole time.
Oh yeah, I absolutely saw them back there when I was coming back through the rollers. I was like, "Oh my God, do not crash. Please do not crash." It was stressing me out. But yeah, I'm glad I wasn't involved in that.
Yeah. What'd you see out there, Talon? I know you weren't in the race, but for that first B final race on this track, what'd you see?
I don't know. There's a lot of battles. A lot of there. I know for the first, I think 5 to 7 minutes, there was a really big group from like maybe 6th all the way to like 15th. That was battling for those final transfer spots. So it was a lot of good battling, and for the most part, it was pretty clean. It felt like. I think there's maybe one person, but like other than that, like it was for the most part pretty clean. So it was good to see that kind of racing.
Yeah, a lot of seems kind of difficult. Maybe you both can speak to this. Seems a little bit difficult on this track specifically to, when you go off the track, still get back on at a good spot where you don't pick up penalties, but also just staying on the track in the first place seems kind of tricky.
Yeah, that was the one thing that I was kind of really worried about. Every time I crashed kind of off the track in that race, I was like, please count my lap, please count my lap. I just didn't know where the things were. So yeah, I was just trying, that was my main thing. I was just trying not to like have any weird cuts or have anything, like that happen.
What about for you, Talon? The challenges of just not going off the track too much on this one?
Yeah, it's a little difficult. I know in the couple fun races that we did, some of them I was getting cuts like every lap. It was really hard, but then some races I got like no cuts. So it's like it's hard to really tell. Sometimes, yeah, like I said, sometimes you're good, sometimes you're not. It's just, I don't know. It's one of those tracks where it's hard to be consistent, but once you get in that flow, there's nothing stopping you.
Right, absolutely. All right, so A final coming up next. Like I said, we're going to get that loaded up in just a minute. B final now behind us. I guess what we could do in this little downtime is kind of talk about qualifying. We haven't really done that too much yet, and how that shook down. But Splash did end up with the top time, 153.7 over Wash, a 154.1. Chase at a 154.3. Ethan at a 154.5. And then Doug on back in the 155s and up. So fairly close times at the top, kind of feel like expected with a lot of time on the track for a lot of these guys. But yeah, looks like Splash has come to play tonight after finishing the opening round in 4th.
Oh, yeah, he was battling for the win in our preseason race. He definitely had a chance at it. So, it's I think he really wants to come into this title and really take it because he feels like he could be a top guy, and he's shown it with the speed. So I think it just depends because, preseason and this one, like he's had kind of inconsistent motos. Like they're still up there, but like maybe like a 6th and a 3rd or like a 5th and a 2nd. Like if he's podium both motos, he definitely has a good chance of taking this from Rex.
So Splash off to a good start this evening. TJ, who was 3rd last week, I believe, 2nd, sorry, ends up 7th in qualifying. Rax, our points leader, rolls off the line in 9th. And defending champ Yorks goes 11th. Yorks only did first moto last week, if I'm not mistaken, right? Anybody know why?
Yeah, he messaged me. He said he just wasn't really feeling it. I think he had a late day at work and just kind of had to rush home, and he was just kind of having a rough moto. So I think he bagged it. I don't think he was initially planning on doing the entire series. I think he was kind of taking a break from the game. But he started coming back. He actually joined our team now before the series, and he's been having fun playing with us every other night, So I think he's planning on just doing as many rounds as he can.
Love to see it. Hopefully for him, he's able to show a little bit of the old magic just once or twice in this AOMX Championship. But yeah, it looks like A main, we are up and ready to go. So we'll get in there right now and pull up on the screen for just a moment the point standings. If you're just joining us here tonight and missed the opening round, you get a quick look at what things look like heading into round 2 here at Spring Creek. Rax picking up the win at Thunder Valley over TJ and Cam. No Cam tonight, but then Splash, who is P4, goes fastest in qualifying, and also a couple other fun faces that will be in the mix here tonight. If you guys have any predictions, though, we see Splash fastest in qualifying. Do you think that this is a type of track that suits Splash, or is there someone else that we haven't been looking at yet here tonight that could shine through?
I'm not too sure. I think if I'm not wrong, I think Splash is more of an EU guy. So me and Dizzle didn't really get to race him as much for aerial. So it's hard to get a judge on like how, like, obviously he's faster than us. There's no way around it. But like it's hard to judge how much faster he is. Like Rax, it's obvious he'll get around you in like 2 corners because he's just that fast. But like it's hard to tell how quick these guys really are just because we haven't personally raced them. So we don't know what his good tracks are, what his bad tracks are. But if he has another good race like he did for the preseason and for last week, like I said, if he could get on that podium, he could definitely have a shot of, beating Rax, because last week he was the only one to do that.
Yeah, I think it's going to be fun either way to see these battles. Go ahead, Dizzle.
I was just going to say, Talon, if you want to whitelist pressure real quick so we can have an admin in the lobby. Yeah, no, I think I honestly think anyone, like there's a handful of guys in this lobby right now that I think can win at any given moment. You got Rax, you got Chase, Fleer Murder's been going really good lately. I know Brax has won a couple aerial motos. Brock W, D'Entro washed. There's a handful of guys in here and that can win at any given time. So I think it's just going to be some good hard battling.
Good to see it. Good to hear it as well. And we are about ready to get race 1 off and running here. You guys get a quick look at the list of riders going to the gate that we have not seen yet. Of course, some LCQ boys, but for the most part, some fresh faces that we haven't seen yet here tonight. Real quick, though, before we load into Moto number 1, big shout out, of course, to Pro Precision backing you guys. Welcome to our motocross suspension and graphics company. We're here to offer you the top-of-the-line suspension systems and custom graphics to enhance your bike's performance and style on the track. Our expertly engineered suspension provides maximum stability and control, while our custom graphics let you stand out from the crowd. Trust us to help you ride with confidence and style. Welcome aboard to Pro Precision. And they will bring us the action here tonight at Spring Creek for round 2 of the AOMX Championship in MX Bikes. And
waiting on a couple more people to join here, and we should be good. We got 34 guys, so waiting for our admin to join, and then
I think we should 1 or 2 other people.
Yeah, I think Axis just said his game crashed.
I think he got in. Oh, his game crashed again.
Yeah, that was in. Sent him. Oh no, he is in. Okay.
All right, so Tyler J is joining, so I think we got 1 more person, and then we should be good to go.
Good deal. Very excited to see what happens in these motos as well. And I think, like you said, there's so much parity of who could win really both of these motos tonight. It might ultimately come down to that tricky start that we mentioned before the B final. And honestly, I felt like B final start, it wasn't terrible. It wasn't the worst start I've ever seen, but could it be foreshadowing that we're going to actually have a few guys make it through the first turn, or is it just going to be death and one person makes it both the motos?
Yeah, I was going to say about that. I cannot believe there was only like 3 guys that I saw go down or whatever off that B main start, because I made it through alive too, and I was all the way in the back, so I was baffled to see that.
Yeah, it's I don't know. Like I said, it's a little unpredictable every time because most of these guys, everybody wants to get a good start. And if you're right there, you're always going to try to go for it. But if I don't get a start, I'm always the one that's going to like back out, let all these guys go ahead and try to cut inside and try to make my way through. So hopefully that works again, like last week. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see because, like you said at the beginning, it's a big start, wide start, and then it narrows in really, really tight. So,
yeah, and it's going to create that bottleneck effect. So even if you have, let's say, 5 guys that all get pretty good starts, they're all going to be shooting for the same 5 feet of racetrack to get on the inside and make it through those right next to those SpongeBobs and come out with the whole shot. It also could create absolute chaos if it doesn't break down a little bit. I think that was the key. There's a few guys that got really good jumps and a few guys that got some mediocre jumps and a few guys that got bad jumps in the B final, and that kind of separated everyone. But if it's any tighter, I feel like we're going to see some chaos off the start here at Spring Creek.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we have everybody in, right? 36 people, 35 plus the admin. Oh no, we need one more.
Kellen, so yeah, we need one more. I don't know if they're going to fully join, but we'll wait and see.
Yeah, we'll give them the full countdown. We usually give the full 10 minutes, then right at when it hits 0, if there's nobody sinking, oh, we're running it.
Alrighty then, so we are on the clock now, about 90 seconds out till we hit that countdown. And we'll get running here for Moto number 1 at Spring Creek. Very interesting brand of racing that we saw as well in the B final with so much back and forth, and it really was about minimizing the mistakes, which tends to happen more often in the B final than the A final. But hey, even last week we saw a couple guys, they got out front, they got a little bit of a gap established, and then it was hard for anybody else to catch them unless there were mistakes being had out front. So I think that might be another key tonight. Just ride your race. Don't get caught up in trying to pull away or anything like that, and you might walk out of here a winner.
Yeah, I think line choice is going to be big, especially because coming up those hills, like if you go down or collide with someone, that's going to cost you a good 15 seconds or so. And if you're at the wrong spot when you fall on that hill, you're going to have to go all the way back down to get a good run. So I think it's just going to be about, like you said, just being safe, take your time, ride your own race, and keep it on 2 wheels.
So we will see what happens here in just a few moments. 20 seconds left on the clock, and then we will get racing here. Round number 2 from Spring Creek. And who is going to get the whole shot? We'll go down the list as well and kind of highlight where everyone is on the gate, because obviously if you're way inside, you get kind of shoved into the side of the track. Probably want to be more here-ish, and you'll feel a little bit better about your chances, but even guys from way out here can zoom off and get themselves a good start into turn number 1. So there is the horn, and we're getting loaded up on the gate to see where these guys are at. We got Cobb down the inside, actually far inside for Seawalk. Cobb, Dizzle right up there on the inside, Fear Murder, TJ, Transcend, Coxie, Chase, Yorks, Ethan, Splash, Slurp, Diantro, Rax, AD, Doug, Washed, Brock W, Kazi, Smuds, Talon, Reed, Smithy, Hypes, Brax, Pax out here, Cast, Dr. Geo, Axis, Parker, Kobaha, Peak, and Jack alongside Isaac way on the outside. That is going to be your field going to the gate here in Moto number 1 from Spring Creek of round 2 of AOMX. Get a quick look down the line. Everyone's just checking out each other one last time to see where's my competition, where are they starting at, and can I get a good jump on them? All right, here we go. It's get nervous time. 30 card is up. 30 card is sideways. And here we go. Revs are up. Round 2 of AOMX starts right now. Gate is down at Spring Creek. We're off and running. Rax out of the middle on that Yamaha. Gets a pretty good jump, but it's going to be Doug swooping the outside with Pax out of the LCQ that gets to the line first. Looks like a lot of guys had some chaos, though. Not sure who it is officially that gets the whole shot. Looks like Doug by a nose. Wash is right there. Pax as well. And then Cobb brings it up in 4th. Rax off the gate very well in 5th with that red plate. But Doug leads him into the sand whoops here on lap number 1. Wash came out of nowhere, snuck into the middle. It did seem like Pax got to the corner first, but of course that whole shot line all the way down basically in turn number 3. So Doug leads him through on the second half of the whoops. Through the inside, he's going to block that line. Wash tries to get there, and they almost come together. In fact, I think Wash maybe did just narrowly touch him, and that was very, very close between the two leaders. But Doug now has a small advantage on Wash, trying to open it up as we go up into the top, coming down towards Mount Martin. So let's see where everyone is coming down this downhill. Swoop at the bottom of the hill. Look at this. Washed outside line. Might be a run up the hill for the race lead. Let's follow him side by side. Has a better run on that left side, and it's going to be the inside. He quads up. Doug just barely doesn't get it clean, but there's still drag racing all the way to the top of the hill. Wash jumps to the middle. Run takes Doug down. Wash to the race lead. Doug down off the bike. And Wash jumps to the front as he flies down Mount Martin. Get a bird's eye view of him getting to the bottom of the hill first. He's got Splash, that fastest qualifier, right behind him in second. Rax in third, Doug fourth, and Chase rounds out our top five. There's TJ, Tyler J right there in sixth, Cobb seventh. And then back here, you got Slurp and Talon eighth and ninth, just ahead of Axis, fresh out of the B final. So let's go back up to the leader and watch as Wash tries to bring it down to lead lap number one, but Splash is right there with him. Can Splash make a quick move and try to open up the gap? We've seen through two rounds of racing, or two motos of racing, I should say, how important it is establishing the race lead early and opening up a gap. And I think Splash does not want to see Rax this close to him to start things off, but he's going to do everything he can to tail down Washed for the race lead and go off and run with this thing. But Washed, in his own credit, is actually doing a fantastic job of just holding steady in the early runnings of this. And that's really the key to some of these races as well. Put yourself in a position early on and do those consistent good laps at the start, and that sets yourself up real well once you get about halfway through the moto. Remember, these are only 20 plus 2s, so they go by quick, but if you can get to that 10-minute mark and you're still battling for the lead, you're in a pretty darn good position. As Splash goes for a bit of a ride, trying to hip jump through that corner right there. Another big kick, loses a lot of momentum. Here comes Rax. He's going to get the catapult cleanly. Rax does not get it, or Splash does not get it. Rax gets into Splash and puts him down. He gives him the old shoulder check on the uphill. Not sure if there's some bad blood there, or maybe just some weird gamesmanship, but now TJ, Tyler J, he's up in the mix as well. That allowed Chase into the 3 position, so it's now Washed from Rax, Chase, and then Splash just ahead of Tyler J, with Cobb closing up as well. That was aggressive, to say the least, out of Rax, giving him the shoulder check after the catapult. So let's go back up to this lead group, and now you can see Chase trying to close up. It seems like Splash looks pretty pissed off about that. He's riding aggressive. Let's see if he can close the gap down on Chase here pretty quickly. Some of these guys we are going to see racing tomorrow at the MX Bikes of Nations. Be sure to check out twitch.tv/Navo009. 4:30 p.m. Eastern. That's 1:30 p.m. Pacific for the MX Bikes of Nations race. As Splash goes up the inside, he's going to make it around Chase. Chase is the MXGP class rider for Team USA. Rax is the open class rider, so number 1 and number 3 coming up tomorrow. But right now, Chase number 33. Rax, I think, has number 3 on his bike, though, so he must be running the Team USA kit. Here comes Splash, though, and now we get to see a bit of a rematch of this Rax versus Splash saga that just happened on the uphill last time by. Followed it all the way back to the point where Splash is there again. Splash goes for a triple in the middle of the rhythm, doesn't quite get it, and then jumps to the outside. Here comes Chase now with a great run, and he's going to get Splash back. So Splash got that one wrong a little bit, trying to do a little bit of an alternate rhythm line and keep it close with Rax, and Chase takes full advantage. And don't look now, but DJ, Tyler J, is keeping it close as well. How about Washed? Washed, who was a second fastest qualifier, right up at the front of this field, and with all the chaos going on back here, he's kind of snuck away, though on track time, it's not that far. He's only about 3 seconds ahead of Rax here. Must be a little bit of some corrected time. Actually, yeah, Rax has 3 seconds of cuts, Chase has 2, Tyler J has 1, Splash has 4, as Splash goes back to work on Chase. Washed has 0 penalties at the moment. But as we charge down the hill once again, we got a rider. That was, is that the leader? Yes, Washed was down off the track. Rax takes over the lead. And now it's 4 riders nose to tail going down the back straightaway here at Spring Creek. Rax leads Washed, Chase, and Splash, and then Tyler J not too far behind them either. So this could materialize into one hell of a race, as there is Rax jumping down the hill out front, our red plate holder. And look at this. This is a spicy meatball right here. And Splash thus far has been one of the fastest riders on the track, lap after lap. Let's see what he lays down this time by once we get timing and scoring to refresh on us, as he almost jumps on Chase. That was close right there. And yeah, Splash just went 156.8, but Chase actually went 155.6 and a 155.6 for Rax as well, who just went down off the track right there. It was Chase. Chase is way off the track out here, losing a lot of time, and that's going to allow Tyler J to go by. As Rax leads from Washed. Wash looks eager to go back after him. Now, as I say that, he goes spinning off the track and down. Loses a position to Splash. Will he lose a spot to Tyler J? Remains to be seen through the end of this straightaway. Looks like he's going to hold steady there. And almost through the front door, actually. Tyler J has to go off the track not to hit him. Makes the pass stick. And then here comes Chase bringing up the rear. So 1 through 5 has been a lot of entertainment so far. And we might have ding, ding, ding round number 3 of this saga between Splash and Rax coming up here pretty soon. Don't want to miss out on that. And if you're just joining us, perhaps you missed the moment where, as these two were battling for second 2 laps ago now, just after the catapult, Rax kind of, I don't know if it was on purpose, it kind of seemed like it was. He didn't seem out of shape. Just kind of hooked a right hand into Splash on the uphill. Shoulder checked him into the barriers, or the embankment, I should say, and Splash went down. And Splash had been leading the race, went down all by himself. And as soon as Rax was there, he took advantage of that. So I don't know if there's any animosity there, but kind of seems like Splash is keen to run him down, obviously for the race lead purposes, but perhaps is there more at play here? We'll find out potentially soon if Splash keeps running these times. How about Tyler J, man? He has also been sneaking into the mix here. MXB Mods, John Pork backed rider. Now moves up into 3rd. Let's see, on corrected time, that is officially 3rd as well. Washed actually has some penalties. 3. They all have a decent amount of penalties. Chase actually has 8 seconds of penalties. But the front 4 riders each have some penalties. Splash is off track. Splash off track again. Lands on a SpongeBob right there. That corner is killing people, man. These guys are flying through here and going off the track. So here's a couple guys we haven't checked in on lately. Coxie, Cobb, Doug, all right there. Diantro, Reed, Ethan, who was 5th at the opening round. There's Talon, AD, Slurp, Transcend, Brax, Axis, Isaac, Rock W going by. There's Yorks, the defending champ. Kazi and Cast, nose to tail, hanging out with each other. But these guys are outside of points now. Fear Murda, Seawalk. Oh, Seawalk dies off of the SpongeBob. Peak and Pax, TGR teammates after the LCQ together, still hanging out together. Smithy, Hypes, and Smuds all going by. And Parker and Dizzle. Looks like Dizzle is just about bringing up Caboose. Caboose officially is Dr. Geo, I think. Yeah, no one behind Dr. Geo. So Dr. Geo riding Caboose right now. As we go back to our leader, Rax, and he has opened this thing up. In fact, no one even in the picture anymore. And next online is Tyler J. So Tyler J wanted to win that opening round last week. 1-4 to Rax's 3-1. Now they're 1-2 on the racetrack again. Let's see if TJ can roll that gap down just ever so slightly. We'll get a lap time check this time by. See if anything has changed as they go over the finish line jump. Splash still holds on to 3rd. There's Chase now just getting around Washed for 4th. But on corrected time, Wash still has him. So actually, I think that was the battle, and it's still the same battle it was. Wash with a nice scrub right there. Another scrub. Pushing that gap down to Chase, and then coming the other direction. Rax, TJ, they're starting to get a little bit closer together. And Splash looks like he has fallen behind that group. So Chase now into third on track, Washed fourth, and Splash in fifth. These guys have opened up a little bit of a gap, but Doug has done a nice job staying tough here on the number 12 RDFR TGR KTM. Coxie and Cobb kind of coming with them. This is perhaps the best fight on track right now. And this one right now is for the 7th position. Doug has been able to get around them and kind of take off a little bit. So as these two battle for 7th, they are once again trying to close the gap down on Doug ahead of them. Make something happen. Looks like Rax and TJ are getting a little bit more tidy near the front as well. Back away and see what that battle looks like. There they are coming down the hill, actually, so let's go up to them. Yeah, Tyler J is closed down on Rax. Lap time check last time by. TJ was actually 0.2 slower than Rax, but clearly Rax has had a mistake this time by because TJ's on him. So what's going to happen here? We'll watch them go up the hill together. Come down there is Rax. Hard on the brakes to that inside, and TJ is just relentlessly staying right with him. We are halfway through this moto, though, so we have only got 8 minutes and 2 laps left to go, and this race could be on for the lead and potentially the win of this moto. But don't look now, because there's some guys that are hanging tough back here. Look at this. Chase is back on the grind a little bit. He has got those penalties, 8 seconds of them to worry about, but he just laid the fastest lap of the race down last time by at a 1:55.2. So Chase is now starting to wind it up. He wants to close down on the lead duo. And while they battle each other out front, Chase is hoping that they start worrying about each other too much or even get into each other, put each other on the ground. But Chase also needs some help. He needs them to go off the track and gain some penalties a little bit. TJ is there, though. TJ has caught Rax for the race lead. As we go through this long right-handed sweeper. And let's follow him all the way up the hill and all the way up Mount Martin and see how it looks. TJ absolutely launching down that hill. Rax looked like he was a little bit faster maybe through the section since we've been on board, but let's see. TJ scrubbing, nails the double on the uphill, tries not to loop out. Swooping through that corner, jumping back down. Yes, Senior Blatt. Unfortunately, I forgot to link it in the description of this video, but if you check out our latest SYS main channel video, the SYS Discord link is in the description of that. And it's also actually on the main page. If you just go to the main Start Your Systems YouTube page, there's a Discord link on that as well. We're actually revitalizing the Discord right now, trying to make it a little bit more community-based. Want to be able to share screenshots and videos that you guys have on our social feeds. So please get involved over there as much as you guys can or want to. Very much appreciated. And this lead battle, not much changed that last time by. And penalty-wise, Rax does have 1 second extra penalty than Tyler J right now, 4-3. But, I mean, I don't think they're going to stay this close, or if they do, I feel like something's going to come to blows if they're only a second apart. And now it's Washed, actually, so Chase went down. Here is Chase still back here. Washed is moving forward, though, and Washed fastest rider on the track last time by. So now he's dialing it up a little bit. They've dropped Splash. Splash has had a bad lap. They're not really dropped him, but he's not really in the picture anymore. Still Doug in 6th. Coxie 7th. I mean, these guys are having good rides, no question about it. We just haven't talked about them because the gaps have been pretty substantial. It's a good fight here between Diantro and AD going on. Cobb and Ethan. Ethan's going to be bummed at this ride, I feel like, after a good opening round. As Cobb goes down, Ethan's going to get a freebie spot. I feel like Ethan was better than this last week at Thunder Valley, and we got a pass that almost materialized. AD just went up the inside of Diantro, then went down, and now Ethan's going to get another spot. So Ethan just got 2 spots in the last couple of corners right there. He's starting to wind it up himself. Might be going forward here soon. I just don't want to miss if anything happens in this lead battle, because look at, even back here in this battle for 3rd, Washed and Chase are still pushing each other as well. Something could happen here. Nothing doing at the moment, but you just never know. As Rax comes down, still leading and still about the same gap. I mean, Tyler J is just right there in his shadow, but hasn't been able to do anything about it yet. Rax has just hit all of his marks, done what he needs to do. Can't fault him for what he's been able to accomplish out front. But if you are TJ in second right now, you're just like, please, one mistake. That's all you need. One mistake, one opportunity. Open up that gap a little bit. Ayo, OGBPC subbing up in the channel again. His 51st month of subbing up. 12 months in a row. He's made it a whole year without forgetting to sub up on our Twitch channel. And of course is four-time Moto Option Supercross champion Braden Carter joining us and gracing us with his presence. Real respects real. Sim champ hanging out with all the bikes guys tonight. So is TJ going to close this gap down or not? It's kind of seeming like not is going to be the answer. You just never know, though. Things could change. And speaking of a battle, we got one here. Washed and Chase are starting to go at it. Chase looks like he has found some lines, perhaps. Close the gap down. Both of them quadding up. Chase a little bit long, gets the Pabobo bounce. Not as clean of a run up the hill. Jumping back down, bouncing, hopping, skipping, all the way to the bottom. Big swap. Nice save. And you can see, like we talked about with Dizzle and Talon before this race started, this track feels kind of tight because of there's basically kind of like 3 big ruts all the way through the track in almost every corner. Oh, we got a battle for the lead going on. Here we go. TJ has caught Rax, and there's nothing in it anymore. And on corrected time, TJ has it by a nose, barely. I mean, 0.55. And, oh, TJ just stood it up in that corner, bounced off the wall jump weird. Man, just when we were about to see a battle, almost was finally going to happen. And TJ kind of makes a mistake. And looks like Chase also made a mistake. And he's lost a little bit of time. Oh, and then Wash goes down. Wash goes down in third. So there you go. That one mistake that just was waiting for it to happen. And it does there. But in the form of Wash making the mistake and allowing Chase to go by. They're still close though, and Chase just kind of went off the track right there for a quick moment. So gotta keep it tight. You gotta be careful. They have absolutely dropped this group back here, which is now Doug ahead of Coxie. Splash is well down bad. Is he out of this? Or did I just miss him? I think I must have missed him. Oh, here he is. Splash coming this way. So I did miss him because that battle back here between Doug and Coxie is coming through, but they're ahead of him on corrected time. Because, let's see, Splash has 14 seconds of penalties now. Good gravy. Hovering across the track back over to, that is a lapper. Dr. Geo, and there is Rax. There's TJ. And then you can see the gap back to Chase. Kind of cool to see so many different teams represented up here. We got TGR. Wash holding it down. We got the Cold Hearts program, MXB Mods, AEO. They're all up here. And looks like Rax is really starting to open it up again on TJ. He's now lapped some guys, though. Time is about to expire. The time expires. 3 laps to go. Nice and clean through the ruts right now. I mean, Rax is kind of hitting all of his marks, which is really the key to this thing. That's what helped him win the moto last week. I don't know. Oh, a little hand wave right there saying thank you to Smithy, that was, of AB Customs, moving out of the way. Always nice when a lapper is keen like that, lets you go by. Another rider gets out of the way. That's Yorks. That's our defending champ, who we heard in the pre-race discussion with Talon and Dizzle. Not really feeling it of late. Hasn't been playing the game much of late either, as Dizzle allows Rax to go by. A lot of guys just moving aside, letting the leader go through, which is always good to see. Someone's stuck over here. Seawalk. Looks like Seawalk is perhaps called it a moto, but not retiring just yet. He ain't no quitter. He's going to wait on that hillside until the race is almost done and then cross the finish line, as Rax now splits through Hypes and Axis. So this is just about points now. I don't think Axis actually is in points anymore because Isaac is up ahead, I believe. The 2-lap board is out, and Rax checks in with the race lead, and we'll get a good indication of the gap right here. We'll just wait and watch. It was 9.5 last time by. There's Hype a lap down. There goes TJ, our man in second place. Not what he was hoping for when he got so close to Rax, and at one point on corrected time had the lead. But so close yet so far never does really work, does it? And he'll lament that couple mistakes that he had there. Still hoping for a late mistake out of Rax, but it is seeming unlikely because Rax is in his groove right now. And again, we talked about it earlier in the moto, but how is this for a good sign of things potentially for Team USA and the MX Bikes of Nations tomorrow? They're off to Matterley Basin to try to defend the title, and Rax goes as the open class rider. Chase, who is currently 4th in this race, is the MXGP class rider. But Rax might be bringing the goods to this team this year. They're going to take on the world, of course. Great Britain, 2nd last year. Finished in a tie with USA, but USA had the better drop score. Gets the job done. Now they are looking to defend the title. So watch that tomorrow, guys. Twitch.tv/Navo009. That'll be live at 1:30 Pacific, 4:30 Eastern. The MX Bikes of Nations for 2024. White flag coming up. Rax, comfortable lead. Not a lot of battles going on either. Everyone's pretty spread apart. We got Cast and Talon maybe going at it a little bit, but there is the white flag in the air now. And you got to see way back here to see our guy TJ. Just hanging out in second, 11 seconds back. That's what the gap is now. There he goes over the line. Wash is coming. Let's see if he can close the gap down. And as I say that, he goes down himself. Is that Chase going back by? It is. But we got to wait for corrected time. Yorks and Dizzle hanging out together. But a lap down. Wash still ahead on Chase on corrected time because Chase has 16 seconds of penalties. Wash has 8. So we got some guys going off the track in this moto. My goodness. I feel like we need an award every moto for the guy that cuts the least and has the best result. Rax has done a pretty good job, as has TJ. Only 4 seconds of cuts. But there's guys down the order that have only 2 seconds of cuts, 3 seconds. They're staying on the track. The bottom of the hill and out. And it's essentially a victory lap now for this gentleman right here on the AEO TSCZ FXR Yamaha. That's a lot of acronyms in one name. Jumping way back down the hill, bouncing, hopping. Crazy that these guys can do that and their suspension soaks it all up. And as I say that, he just goes flying off the bottom of the hill. Gets back on safe and sound, though. Oh, looped out almost. What a save that was. Got to be careful here. How far back is Tyler J? Well, he just crashed too, so never mind. It's all Rax here at Spring Creek in Moto 1. And he is about to wrap this thing up. Down the hill one more time through the little switchback before the finish line jump. Moto 1 winner here at Spring Creek is Rax, as he gets the job done. Nice whip over the line. And we shall wait for the others to come across. Next up should be TJ coming down the hill right about now. Oh, not quite. There he is. Crashed at the bottom of Mount Martin. Really did some damage to that gap, but he'll cross in second. And Wash got fairly close, but again, the penalties really are going to hurt him and Chase both. I mean, Chase is, only going to finish like 7 seconds behind him, but ends up 14 seconds down. There's Smithy, Yorks, and Dr. Geo. So we're waiting for, there he is, Splash to go by. Does he get them on corrected time? Let's see. Doug and Coxie going at it over the line. Very close. Coxie ends up fourth because Chase had so many cuts. My goodness. So Coxie with only 3 seconds of cuts gets by Chase, who had 17, and Splash, who had 19. Doug squeezes between them for 5th. And then Dientro going across in there with Ethan as well. Brock W. A couple other faces back here. AD just went down before the finish. He was 11th. Did he just quit too? Yeah, he retired. Why? Could have picked up 11th right there. He's going to hand it over to a couple of these guys. Slurp. Slurp crosses, passes AD, who could have got 11th, but retired. Reed goes across. Fear Murda. Saw more of him at the opening round. Not a good start this time by, though. Transcend. Kazi, Talon, Cast. They're all bringing it home as well, and that should do it. Isaac, Dizzle, York, Smithy, Dr. Geo, Axis, Hypes, all lap down. Brax, Cobb. A few of those guys didn't finish this one. So Rax takes the dub from TJ, Wash, Coxie, and Chase inside the top 5. Moto 1 in the books here at Spring Creek. And it's Rax standing atop once again. Now 2 for 3 in moto wins to start off the AOMX Championship. And if you guys will excuse me for just a minute, I got to clean up some trash. Gotta block these idiots that are always in my... Why did that not delete it? I blocked him, but it didn't delete the message. I gotta ban him. That's right, okay. Done deal, got him out of the way. Alright. Wow. Moto 1 done and dusted. That was wild. It's a good race. And of course, like I said, Rax gets the job done, stands atop on this one. And your Moto 1 finishers there on the left side kind of shows you what just ended up happening. I can try to let Talon know. Talon, Brock wants you to know that he has to restart his game.
Gotcha. Yeah, we got 5-10 minutes, so we should be good.
Sweet. And yes, sorry, Todd did get his game figured out. Thank you for the help. I'm really bad about that. I message someone for help, and then I always forget to say thanks or that it actually did help or didn't. I just leave them in limbo. All right, so how was it out there, Talon?
Oh, I threw. I had an 8th place start, and I finished 15th, 16th. So I mean, I was up there. Got into it with some people, so it's like, some of them are my fault. Some of them there's nothing either of us could do. So it's just, I don't know. Hopefully, I could ride more consistent next moto, and I think I could battle for a top 10.
Right on. I mean, not a terrible result. I feel like in the end, you were at least able to mix it up towards the end and get a couple more spots, I think. So, not too shabby.
Yeah.
What'd you see about the track breaking down? Obviously, it's going to be even more so Moto 2, but how's it feeling so far?
It felt pretty good. It didn't. I thought it was going to break down more than it did, but you know, it still wasn't bad. It still broke down quite a little bit, but you know, it wasn't as bad. It got to the point where maybe like if you're not comfortable running it, you could start thinking about opposite lines. I started trying them, test them out for, Moto 2. Didn't work out. I think every time I try to do another line than what I was normally running, I would go down. So it's, I don't know. I think most people, because what they normally do in this game is run the same line the whole way. And even if it gets super choppy, they still try to hold it and they try to make their suspension set up just perfect for that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it didn't seem like it got like terribly choppy, just kind of deeper so far. I don't know if that's how it felt, but it kind of looked that way.
Yeah, it wasn't as much choppiness. Yeah, just like I said, it was more just deep than choppy.
So we'll the track will also get even worse in the second moto. Do you foresee it getting pretty gnarly, or will it stay kind of what we're feeling so far?
I don't see it getting like overly bad, just because we've figured out we've with ARL and with us, we kind of tested out a good middle ground for the our 20-minute motos compared to their 30. So I think it won't get like super choppy, but there will definitely be some roughness added to this track.
Yeah, hopefully that makes a little bit better racing. The first moto, I know you were in it, but man, the front five guys were putting on a bit of a show, and then it really opened up late as Rax kind of opened up that gap. But yeah, Splash had a rough one, man. He was up there and went backwards. A lot of cuts too. Do you have some insights on why we're seeing so many cuts for some of these guys, perhaps?
I think on these middle rounds, after Thunder Valley, on these more, like I said, like these more middle ones, so I think Unadilla, they started tightening down on the like cuts. So like the I don't know I can't remember what they're called, but like the track markers are a lot smaller, so even a tiny bit of you going off track, you can't get a second of cuts. So it's just I think they kind of try to get down on it in the middle of the season. Towards the end, they got a little more lenient, and more at the beginning they kind of did as well, because there's just a lot of new people racing, so they just want to not have them getting cuts every lap for small mistakes.
Yep, yeah, fair enough. All right, so Moto 2 will be coming up shortly. Any surprises you would say out of the results in the first Moto? It seems like kind of all the main players we expected up there, but for you, anybody jumping off the page?
My kind of thing was Reed being so far down in the order. He's definitely got pace to be up there, and I think he's normally somewhere battling in the top 10. So seeing him be so far down there in like 18th, and with 10 minutes to go or 5 minutes to go was a little surprising for me, battling with him back there. But other than that, I think it turned out, you got, like I said, you got all the heavy hitters up there, so I think it worked out pretty good. I don't know how good the racing looked, but there's a lot of racing with me. I was racing a lot of people constantly.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like I said, the 5 leaders, they kind of got away, and every time I look a little further back, there was some good battles going on too, but we also had some drama. Rax and Splash coming together. I don't know if it was on purpose or what have you, but it certainly looked a little aggressive from Rax, and curious to see if Splash has anything for him in the second moto or not. But very interesting to say the least.
Yeah. Well, like Chase said, Splash is actually a 250 rider, so and he is fast. Obviously, he won the 250 class from what I've heard. So he he has that speed, but yeah, being 250, jumping up to the 450. And I've heard from some people, not everyone, but some people, that he does be an aggressive rider a lot of the time. So it's just, he could definitely put some pace on you and really, try to battle hard with you, I guess.
Just checking out some of the bikes in the pits. I mean, shoot, Rax's USA bike is looking fresh.
Yeah.
People hanging out in here, just little group shots. Why not? Oh, there we go. Looks like we are just about ready for race 2. I'm assuming that's the cue, and you.
Yeah. I'm gonna hop over to the other call.
Yeah. All right, so it is time to go racing here in race 2. Let's give you guys a quick rundown here of who everyone is and where they are lined up. TJ, Tyler J goes far inside. Cobb, Brock W, Fearmurder, Seawalk, Transcend, Coxie, Chase, Slurp, Ethan, Splash, Kazi, Diantro, Rax. So this is the view that Rax has going into turn number 1, and he is middle for diddle, as they sometimes say. Right there in the mix. AD, Doug, Washed, Reed, Smithy, Smuds, Talon, Hypes, Dizzle, Pax, Cass, Dr. Geo, Axis, Kobaha, Cold Hearts. That's his team name, I'm sorry. Brax, Isaac out here. Got a couple still hanging on the pit. Some stragglers. One of them is me, though. Totally get it. All right, here we go. 30 card is about to go up. Time has come all the way down, and we are going to launch into turn number 1 here in just a minute. The revs are coming up. It's time for race 2 here at Spring Creek, round 2 of AOMX. Let's go racing! Here we go. That middle group seems to be getting there first again. Doug is going to lead him into turn number 1. Pax tries to get around the outside again, and this time it looks like he's able to hold it. Pax through the first turn first and out is going to get the whole shot. He's got his teammate Brax right behind him, and Brax is going to go to the lead. Splash moves up into second. Rax third. Doug goes off the track, gets into Splash, almost coming back on the track, and Splash raises a hand right there. Not sure if that's to say what's up or thank you for not hitting me as he got back on the track. Ethan, a much better start this time. He's battling Doug, trying to get to the inside into fourth as Brax leads this race, going a little wayward through the rollers, and Splash is trying to go to the race lead on exit. Rax is right there with him, so is this a rematch of these two as well? Let's find out. Rax to the inside, trying to pass Splash, pushes him out, almost gets together. Splash goes off the track, barely holds on the catapult, and Brax goes down with the lead. Rax to the front, Splash in second, Ethan third. As we go up the hill on lap 1, Doug, Tyler, Jay, they're all up here, so some heavy hitters at the front. But what about Splash versus Rax? Splash going for it down the inside, backside the challenge as Rax leads on the uphill, lap number 1. Let's see if these two perhaps stay close together this time. Splash a little bit better run. Rax over the hill and clean to the top. But Splash is right on his hip. Coming down the hill. What is going to happen between these two? Whoa, Splash almost off the track. Oh, he's right behind him. Almost gets into the back of Rax, actually. And Rax through the corner there. Gets away a little bit. So Splash now has to fall back and get in line right here. This is an opportunity, though, for Rax to open this up if he can and get away from some of the other heavy hitters that are up here, because Tyler J, he's right near the front. Ethan, like I said, a much better start for him. Whoa, flipping to the bottom of the hill. Cobb goes down. Rock W is slurped back here with Coxie, Doug, Isaac, Smithy, Transcend, Talon, Brax, Kazi, Kobaha. There's Chase. Chase is buried. Remember, he was up in the mix in moto number 1. Who else we got back here? There's Washed. Washed was battling for a podium in the first moto as well. He's way back here. And then we heard about Reed and his struggles. He's trying to make amends for those. And already we've got some penalties flowing in. In fact, I want to pull up my live timing real quick. Sorry, guys. I just wanted to make sure I could actually see that. So we'll follow back over to the leaders here. They are going through the sand rollers at the moment. Look at Rax, man. He is trying to take off with this thing. Splash, Ethan, TJ, and AD coming together. 2, 3, 4, 5 right there. Rax is trying to sneak away, though, man. Doesn't want too much drama in this. Doesn't want to deal with the pressure. We know Splash has the speed to go with him, though. Fastest qualifier here today. And first moto was pretty feisty for about 15 minutes of it and really started to fall apart towards the end. So it also could be a track issue, dealing with the track getting rougher. But even this, I mean, sending it down the hill. As I say that, he goes off at the bottom of the hill. AD and Ethan going to close up a little bit, but we have lost some guys, some gaps opening up now. Yeah, TJ is way back here. He actually fell back behind Doug, who just went off the track. Remember, Doug was battling for 6th most of the first moto. Fear Murda, Slurp. Look at this pileup coming down. Wash goes off the track with Transcend. And who else is down here? That's Kobaha. And Chase is still buried back here. There's some really good names deep in the field right now, and they're going to need to get through that pack very quickly if they want any chance of dealing with what's going on up here. As Splash now 6 seconds behind Rax, but that's with 3 seconds of penalties, so really 3 seconds on track, and goes off the track some more. So just adding to his tally. Oh, leader's down. Rax just went down into Spring Creek off the right side of the track, and now Splash goes to the front. And now we get to see firsthand whether or not there's something doing with these two battling each other. Rax did push him all the way out going into the catapult on the first lap. Does he do something like that again? As Splash goes to the lead, at least on track, does have those penalties, but we'll deal with that later in the race. They working the step up together. Both get to this inside. Ooh, Splash, a little hang up in the corner. He's going to jump to the far inside and push all the way to that outside rut. So Splash is able to build up a little bit more speed coming down the hill, but then going back up, I feel like Rax's outside line works a little bit better. And let's see how they fare coming down the hill together here. Charging down Mount Martin together right into your living room. Whew. Both of them just absolutely flying down that hill together. Look at this, though. Rax is pressing up to Splash right now. Here we go, side by side down the back straightaway. Splash tries to get the power down. Rax goes a little bit long. Look at Splash launching out to flat. Where was he going? Sorry, kind of missed that. Was bouncing in and out of the jumps, but Splash, for some reason, launched up to the face of that jump. I don't know if he was trying to whip across to get, to cross up in front of Rax or something, but just desperate to stay ahead. Held it on a little bit too long. And Rax takes full advantage. He goes back to the race lead. Splash, 5 seconds of penalties now. Only 1 for Rax. And AD is second on corrected time because he only has 2 seconds of penalties. And then Brock W with a much better start is actually ahead of Ethan on corrected time as well. Ethan already has 3 seconds of penalties. TJ has 10. Tyler J picking those penalties up big time. Seeing Brock W. This is 3-4-5 on the racetrack, I believe. Yeah, Splash just ahead of them. But not on corrected time, but 3-4-5 is what we're looking at right here. Splash just went off the track again. Yeah, Splash. The speed was there tonight, but I just don't think the consistency is there with the roughness of this racetrack. That's a shame because the speed looked immense when he was up front battling with these guys, but Rax is just pulling away. You're looking at 2, 3, 4, 5 on your screen. AD has taken over second. And on track, Ethan goes to third ahead of Splash, and then Brock W just behind them will follow these guys all the way to the top of the hill. Swooping here at the top, AD goes off, scrubs it nicely. All these guys laying it over very well. Even Brock W launching out to flat. It's the most impressive part about that for these guys, aside from being able to ride braking bumps way better than me, is how often they're able to scrub and just immediately pull it back to right where they want to land. It takes a lot of time to be comfortable to do that, especially launching down a place like Mount Martin. Splash closing back up on Ethan and AD, trying to get up there and battle with them. Look at this. Ethan to the inside. AD goes down. Has to spin it around and rejoin, but has certainly lost some time. DJ goes through as well. Just behind. And then Brock W. So this is, for Tyler J, this is not what he was hoping for. Actually got a good start this time. Was in fourth and then crashed his way backwards. Running sixth on corrected time right now. Trying to close up to AD. I think he had hoped to actually go with Rax this time, but he's already 20 some odd seconds behind him on the racetrack. And you give Rax some clean air. We have seen that already this championship, that he just takes it and absolutely walks away with it, which is what he is already starting to do in this moto. We're just about at the halfway point. And Rax has got this thing pretty handled to the tune of about 10 seconds out front. We'll see him coming down Mount Martin. There he is launching. Swapping down the hill, but pulls it back together comfortably. And then you see a long gap until AD comes ahead in front of Ethan and TJ. Then Splash brings it up in 5th with Brock W 6th. So that's the best battle on track right here is this one. 2, 3, 4, 5 pretty much nose to tail. 6 just behind them. Look at TJ crossing back over, trying to make this pass stick on Ethan as they go up the step up. Ooh, Ethan hung up in that rut just a little bit too long. TJ thought about it, but elected not to run into the back of the AEO FXR rider. And then they both kind of hooked out of that rut weird, went to the right side of the track. TJ's peeking up the inside and blocks him. Heavy block pass, almost came to a stop on the wall jump. Finally gets the job done on Ethan. Now he's up to 3rd. And as we go into the rollers, AD just in front of this group. And there is that TJ Ethan Splash battle. Splash now back on the rear fender of Ethan, trying to make a move. Down the inside, might have it done if he hooks this inside rut well enough, and he does indeed. Now look now, though, Brock W's coming in. Ethan fought back. Ethan has fought back to get back by Splash. Look at Brock W, though, man. He's hanging with these guys, trying to make it a 5-rider battle for 2nd place. And he's absolutely throwing some whips down. Woo! Goes for a bit of a ride on the hill, though. So let's pull out just a little bit to see what this battle looks like from overhead. There is our leader, Rax, coming down the hill. And you see everything else behind him still going up the hill. And then you can see AD, TJ, Ethan, Splash. I mean, something's going to give with this battle. I feel like at one point Splash might force a pass here on Ethan. Not close enough to think about it at the bottom of Mount Martin, but gets that inside rut. Thought about it for a second. Ethan holding strong, though, as they disappear behind the trees over down this back straightaway. TJ now has his sights set on AD, but Ethan is not done with them yet either. And Ethan and Splash, they went back and forth. TJ just trying to hold steady in front of them, not get involved in their dramas. Loading over that nice step up right there. And this time you can see, that just shows right there, Ethan launching out to flat, how much he had come to nearly a complete stop to put the block on when he made that pass on Ethan. But now Splash is back going to work on Ethan, trying to make something happen. And they both bounce into the rollers together. Splash a little wayward, kind of getting kicked left and right. Pulls it together nicely. And I feel like all of this kind of tight-knit battling is really what's allowing Brock W to get up into this fight potentially. And now it looks like TJ's got his wits about him on AD. He's closed up. AD versus TJ for 2nd. Jumping up the hill. Both go to the inside. Maybe a little bit cleaner. And look at TJ jumping to the inside now. Trying to make something happen. Not quite there just yet. Something is going to give soon, though. Whoa, there's something. Woo! Brock W going for a ride. Going up Mount Martin, swapping left and right, front and center. Putting on a show, but not showing us what he was hoping to show us. We got some stacking up. Looks like Splash got hung up with TJ. Ethan and Brock W both go by. So that allows Ethan in a 3rd. Brock W now 4th. Splash is behind TJ, but on corrected time actually has TJ covered, and Splash still going off the track. Just not afraid to skip a few of those SpongeBobs. Ethan, Brock W, TJ, and Splash. Let's look back a little bit and see what we've been missing back here. We have got Fear Murda, much better second moto going on for him. Just got by Cobb by the looks of it, and Coxie because he was not in front of them. And then we look further back to Chase. He's finally worked forward with Washed. And remember, these guys were battling inside the top 5 in the first moto. And they are currently just outside of the top 10 together. Wash 10th, Chase 12th. Uncorrected time, but I think they're actually 10-11 on the actual line. And they have Isaac right behind them. There's Doug, Slurp, Cast, Transcend, and there's Smithy. And then Reed coming down the hill. Not the night he was hoping for. D'Antro, Dr. Geo, Talon, Dizzle. A little better ride this second time ahead of Hypes and Kobaha. So there's some good battles still going on. But it's kind of all about what's going on at the front of the field. And my goodness, where is Rax? He's so far out in front. He's just at the top of Mount Martin. There he is coming down. Didn't even see him. So now can TJ start working his way forward. He's trying to go to work on Brock W. up Mount Martin. Good drive up the right side, trying to slam the door shut. That almost came to blows, and Brock W. stays ahead. Goes off the track, but no, TJ jumped to the left. And charged down the hill, made it work. Brock W. does not want to let him go, though. Inside move, coming down the back straightaway. Dualies side by side. Another scrub going up the hill once more. They launch down the hill together. Whoa, big kicks by TJ coming into the corner. Brock W, man, giving Tyler J the business right now. And look at him go, launching out to flat, trying to get a nose up the inside. Just backs out of the challenge. Doesn't want to put TJ on the ground, or really both of them could have went down right there. Rider off the track, that was Ethan. And both of these riders will go by him. But Ethan now gets to join in on the fun. He'll be in the battle as well. He was third, and that now moves those two up into third and fourth, respectively. Ethan back to fifth. AD's got himself a bit of a gap up in second now, working in his favor. And Ethan back up the inside of Brock W, makes that pass stick. He's back into fourth. Brock W was given TJ everything he could handle, but eventually not able to stick right with him. TJ gets a bit of a gap. Ethan also goes by Brock W. Perhaps a mistake. Could have been his downfall, entering the sand rollers right there. 2:40 left on the clock, plus those 2 laps. And this man is cold as ice out front. He's going to lead a majority of the laps today and is en route right now for a 1-1 sweep here at Spring Creek. Just the way he drew it up. Comfortable lead, just trying to manage that gap out front. And he really hasn't put a foot wrong. I don't think I've seen him going over a corner or off the track too much. He still only has 2 seconds of penalties, but then again, so does AD, who was in a fight for a lot longer than what Rax was having to deal with. And Rax jumps out into the mechanics area once more. It'll be pretty tight next time by. If he has a decent lap at all, should be okay to get another lap in, but we'll see. And then we're starting to see some of the lap traffic that he'll come across here soon. Here's Kobaha, 23rd, last guy on the lead lap by the looks of it. So let's actually kind of go from back to front a little bit. We got Kobaha here. At the top of the hill going down is Hypes. Hypes running in 21st technically because Talon just ahead of him has penalties. And this should be the final points paying position right there. Dr. Geo, actually Reed is in the final position. There's Dizzle. I think Reed must be up here. Yep, he just went off the track at the bottom. Has some penalties to his name. Doesn't help his case. And over here we got D'Antro. AOFXR rider. Nobody, actually one rider coming down the hill over here. That's Smithy. AB Customs. Move forward a little bit further to find Transcend. And Cast. They're working together trying to close up a late push towards the top 10 if they can. Slurp. Oh, it just landed so sideways right there. And then Wash has actually fallen back a little bit. Doug has gotten by him. Oh, and now Wash goes down in the rollers there. So Slurp is going to go by. Much worse moto for Wash this time. Certainly not what he was hoping for. We go a little bit further up and find Isaac, who is inside the top 10. Currently running 10th. Trying to close the gap up onto Cobb and Fear Murda, who are battling for 8th. And Fear Murda goes down. That's going to be an easy spot for Cobb. Will it be a spot as well for Isaac? It should be, because Fear Murda's got to get the ship righted, and easy pass in the end for Isaac. All the way to the top of the hill is Cobb. And we'll charge back down to find Coxie, who's right behind Chase. Chase has worked his way forward very nicely, but Coxie still has him on corrected time right now. But this is 6th and 7th on the track. Just that Chase is 7th on corrected time. Top 5 position right now for this gentleman, Ethan. Good start this moto, helped a lot. Not really much to be seen out of him in the first moto, but after 5th last week, overall, I think this 5th in the second moto will be much more up his alley. I think he feels he can do a little bit better than this, but still much better ride than the first moto. We'll go all the way up to 4th now, find Brock W. Hanging tough, just trying to keep TJ close because he could get him on corrected time. TJ's got 13 seconds of penalties, 10 seconds for Brock W. And this is where TJ is now, working on lap traffic just up the road of him. So that's 3rd. No, actually, that's not lap traffic. That's AD, but again, 10 seconds of penalties for TJ. So he has to pass AD and go 10 seconds up on him if he wishes to make something happen here. But at the moment, it looks like AD is going to get second place reasonably to himself. Barring a complete disaster, then we'll go through the back of the field again. There's Seawalk, who's already been put a lap down. He's the only guy a lap down. All the way to the bottom of the hill. Kobaha actually is also a lap down now as well, because Rax is way up here, your race leader. So here is Rax. Coming to get the 2-lap board this time by for our race leader, the AEO TSCZ FXR Yamaha ride. 2-lap board is out, and a hurting on the field has been put down by Rax at this point. Comfortable advantage. "24 seconds and change," and yeah, that's straight up 24 seconds as well, because AD and he both have the same amount of penalties. Went off the track a little bit right there, but easily just rejoins, lays down a nice scrub, and continues on. So for him, it's all just about comfortably navigating the lap traffic and the closing stages of this and not getting caught up in any of the dramas. We can watch the battle for second, even though it isn't technically one, because TJ has to put 10 seconds on AD. AD goes down, though. AD is down, and that's going to allow TJ by. Seawalk unlaps himself. And here comes Brock W trying to close up as well. But Brock W also has a massive amount of penalties, as opposed to AD, who has kept his nose pretty clean. But if TJ can put 10 seconds between he and AD right now, then maybe, just maybe, things fall his way. TJ, though, looking at a potential 3rd place finish in this moto, much better than it could have been with that early fall while running near the front. Fell down through the field just a little bit. Charged his way back into what is on track 2nd, but what will ultimately be a 3rd place finish. Most likely a 3rd place finish, I should say. Still time for AD to have some struggles. TJ's just been launching it down the hill, man, and just bounces all the way to the bottom. Huge bounces, by the way. Pabobo not shy about making TJ bounce down Mount Martin at all. White flag in the air, though. One more lap to go, and he is so far out in front, it's going to take us a minute to go up and find him. Way over there. Rax. Victory lap. Impressive ride. for the number 3 machine here tonight. Got a gap, pulled away, never looked back. And I mean, I feel like he's almost kind of gotten into a groove in this moto where he's made mistakes simply because he's just kind of having fun riding. Like pushing the envelope, trying to do some cheeky wheelies and stuff here, and then goes flying off at the bottom of the hill. But whatever, loses 2 seconds, then gains it back moments later. Still has a very comfortable gap all the way back to second place, and at this point he's going to cruise this thing home, and not only is going to go 1-1, but will have a pretty nice little championship lead over Tyler J after this. Probably double digits at this point. There or thereabouts, just by value of having a 1-1 performance and winning 3 of the first 4 motos of the year. Did the job. The job that needed to be done. Come in, pull away, walk away, and win here at Spring Creek, setting himself up huge to try to carry USA to victory tomorrow at the MX Bikes of Nations. 2 more turns to go. Off the hill one final time. It's going to be a 1-1 sweep, and a massive one at that. Your overall winner here at Spring Creek is Rex on his AEO TSCZ FXR Yamaha. Gets the job done. Big win. Not even close. There is TJ, who will cross the line second, and honestly, this could end up a little bit closer than AD wanted. He's kept it pretty close, but, you know, penalty-wise, we'll see if AD adds any more this lap. TJ crosses unofficially second. Let's see, AD. Yeah, AD is dialed. He is only 29 back, so he'll get second place. Brock W. looks like he'll pick up 4th. And Ethan, right behind him, just narrowly finishes in 5th. Coxie 6th. And Chase 7th. And that's exactly how they will finish. Seawalk over the line, a lap down. And we will wait for the next group of runners to come in. But it looks like quite a few guys ended up a lap down this one. Looks like Cobb called it a moto. Isaac is a lap down. He's pretty far back. There's Washed coming down the hill. Looks like he got fear murdered. Oh, no, Isaac, sorry, is 8th. Didn't see his name originally, but he ends up 8th. Wash does get Fear Murda. Was it enough to beat him on corrected time? Well, with that mistake from Fear Murda, it might have been. Over the bars, allows Cast and Doug to get right there. And Cast will get Fear Murda on corrected time in the end. When Fear Murda was trying to get Wash for 9th, he ends up 11th with a last turn crash. Slurp will get Doug for 12th. Doug ends up 13th. And Diantro, it's like he'll end up 14th. And Transcend, last guy on the lead lap. Corrected time and all, still ends up in 15th place. Reed, he'll cross over the line. Dr. Geo. Yep, so they end up finishing on they ended up finishing on the lead lap as well, 16th and 17th. And that'll do it. Rex, a 1-1 performance, gets the dub here at round number 2. And a big dub at that for him. Well done to Rex, of course, for the win. And we are joined again by Dizzle and Talon back in the booth. And Pressure asked me about the hole shot. I believe it went to Pax. I believe he got to the line first, but I don't swear on it. I did get it on camera, but not too sure.
Yeah, we'll have to take a look back at it.
What a ride, though, by Rax. Very nicely done for him, getting the job done.
Yeah.
Your P3 on overall is Coxie, by the way.
Oh, Coxie is a P3 overall. Goodness gracious.
4-6 for 3rd.
4-6 for 3rd. You know, you've seen it once, you've seen it 100 times. Classic 4-6 always gets the job done.
Ooh.
And we will chat with our winner here in just a moment, I believe.
Yeah, we'll bring Rax in right now. If everybody's ready.
I know, Isaac. I'm sorry. I didn't see your name on the list. You did get 8th, buddy. My bad.
And here is Rex.
All right. Your overall winner, 1-1 sweep of the day, It's Rax getting the job done. Well, first of all, many congratulations on the win. How's it feel backing up that win from the opening round at Thunder Valley?
It feels good. I haven't really done good in qualifying, getting an 8th in qual in the first round and 9th in qual in this round. But in the motos, I'm just keeping my pace and not crashing, so it's working out pretty well.
Yeah, first moto seemed to be a little bit more, I wouldn't say difficult, but obviously more of a battle for you. Second one, you get off to a good start and kind of pull away. Take me through the first moto chaos, though, and mixing it up with all those guys.
Yeah, first moto, I got like a top 5 start, so it wasn't bad, but I was running a really slow pace because I had just gotten on, so I was still warming up a little bit. So I was like running a really slow pace, and I was just getting caught hella quickly, but everybody else just couldn't stop crashing, and I only had like a crash or two that moto, so.
I do have to go back and ask, you and Splash get together on the uphill. We got it on camera. Did you just get sideways, or is there a little bit more to that?
Oh, I was just getting my get back from round 1. He killed me twice. He killed me twice on round 1, so I had to get my get back on round 2.
So in the second moto, then you two start out front. Were you concerned at all, or do you feel like you guys have put it past each other?
Nah, I didn't think he was gonna take me out in moto 2.
Fair enough, fair enough. Like you said, you get the start in the second moto. You're able to kind of pull away. It kind of seemed like you got to a point maybe halfway in the race where you realized, okay, I got this in the bag. I can start playing around a little bit, because you went off track a couple times. I don't know if you were hot lapping or what it was, but you seemed comfortable at least.
Yeah, I was just going for hot laps at the end of the moto because I got a good gap on second. So I was just trying to push myself for some hot laps, trying to get the fast lap in the moto.
We talked about it a little bit during the stream as well. Obviously, you go to battle for Team USA tomorrow. I'm sure this is a nice way to kind of have one little final last race or moment before tomorrow's action at MXBON.
Yeah, especially because TJ's going to be racing me twice tomorrow, and I beat him both times this moto, so hoping it'll happen again tomorrow.
Right on. Who would you like to thank, man, getting on top of the podium here at round 2?
I'd like to thank my team, AO and TSZ, for a good suspension and some clean kits, like this MXBON kit I'm wearing.
Right on, man. Well, congratulations on the win. We'll send you on your way, but well done. 1-1 performance here tonight for you, boss.
All right. Thank you. See you boys later.
All right. That was Rax, our overall winner here at round 2 of the championship. Are we going to hear from our second and third overalls tonight?
So Tyler J usually just goes right to bed.
Yep.
Or does what he does. But yeah, Coxie's waiting, so we'll bring in Coxie for P3.
All right, that is going to be awesome to hear from him. Coxie getting the job done, P3 on the night. 4.6 scores, so I'm sure you'd like the moto scores to reflect a P3 overall, but you'll take a podium, right?
Yeah, we just wrote it in with that consistency tonight, I guess. Rebounded a little bit from last week, but feeling better. Track was crazy, so pretty stoked to be up here, though.
Yeah, talk about that consistency aspect of it. Like you said, track was crazy. It seemed hard for really anybody to put two good, complete motos together. What do you think it was for you that you were able to click both of them off tonight?
Honestly, I just wasn't taking a lot of risks. I just was trying to hit my lines and go a little bit slower instead of just putting burners down and keep it up. So I think it ended up paying off in the long run.
Like you said, first round you kind of made a little bit of amends for it. Do you feel like that this track maybe suited you better, or what was it about this week you just kind of had a better flow to it?
Dude, no, I absolutely hate this track, honestly. Last week I got P4 in the first moto as well, and then I just got completely mid-packed in the second moto. So I was just able to have a cleaner first lap, to be honest, and then that propelled me into the top, and then we went from there, man.
Yeah, this start, we talked about it with the guys here tonight. Really crucial to get a good start on this one because of how tight it got pinched off. Do you feel like you managed well, both motos?
I ripped that third gear start the first moto, totally bogged down. Didn't really know. I hadn't started on this track in a while, but it honestly helped out because a lot of people crashed in front. We kind of just whittled our way to the front, and then second moto, I don't know, it was like 10th place, and then we just kept it up through those first couple sections, so it was good.
Moving forward, now you have a podium in the bag in this series. Do you expect yourself to kind of find your way more into like that kind of P3 battle moving forward?
I would say our immediate goal is just stay in the top 5 overall, and we'll work from there.
Fair enough. All right, who would you like to thank getting on the box here tonight at Spring Creek?
Oh man, shout out to all my boys that are at Normsco. Couldn't have done it without any of those guys. SPX performance on the suspension, and yeah, man.
Right on, dude. Well, congratulations on the podium. Big ups to you for getting the job done. And yeah, man, enjoy the rest of your evening.
Appreciate it, bro. Have a good one.
All right, that was Coxie P3 tonight here at round 2 of AOMX, and good to chat with Rax and Coxie, our podium finishers. I'll wrap it up with you, Talon and Dizzle. Pretty fun round. Rax kind of laying the wood a little bit to the competition, but other than that, good battles all around, and another great night of racing.
Yeah, it was a good night. Well, I'm talking to Tyler J right now, and he's saying he's just a little sick right now. So he said he wasn't going to show up, but since he's P2, he showed up first night, but he did type out the message that he said he wanted to say for the interview. He said I had good speed, just bad starts and 2 crashes on the hill stops his chances at getting a better position. So he's just saying he had a little small mistakes that he wished he could have done better to get him better overall.
Yeah, fair enough. I think we kind of saw some of that in the second moto, and unfortunate, but he is still tight in the championship. I don't know if we have an update on standings yet. I know Rax pulled away a little bit, but Tyler J keeping it close. So should only be about 12 points, I think, between them. But either way, good to see how those fights are unfolding.
10 points.
10 points. Okay, 10
Rax
points.
on 95 and Tyler J on 85.
There you go. So the championship fight already starting to unfold a little bit between those two. And you heard from Raxy, gets to race Tyler J again twice tomorrow. So took him to him the last couple times. Going to see if he can do it again. I'll go to you, Dizzle, though. Yeah, tonight seemed like the track got a little bit rough for that second moto, but overall, a lot of passing opportunities all throughout, and good night of racing, like I said.
Yeah, it turned out good. E-Road wasn't too bad at all, I don't think. Didn't seem like there was too much craziness happening. I know people were kind of going down all over the place, but it looked like more of kind of a Paboso thing. But yeah, no, everything went smoothly. We didn't have any deadies crash. We didn't have any issues with people not being whitelisted or anything. So yeah, overall, I'm pretty happy with how the night went.
That is awesome, and great to see so many people showing up again. And yeah, hopefully we keep the ball rolling into next week. Of course, next week we'll be heading to Flanders in Belgium, which is Lommel, I'm assuming, for you guys. So going to be in the deep sands next week. You guys are going to be trying to pull yourself out like turtles and not get stuck in it. But we know Dizzle's a sand guy, so he's excited for it.
Oh yeah, I purposely, it's no secret, I love sand, so I 100% made sure to get a good amount of sand tracks on the schedule. I tried to set it up a little bit so that it would give everybody a break here and there. So I did around 3, 6, 9, and 12 all sand tracks. So we'll have a fair share of sand on this schedule. That's for sure.
Definitely. All right. Well, any final thoughts for either of you two? Big thanks to all the people behind the scenes helping you guys put it on, of course. But yeah, final thoughts.
I just think it was honestly a good night of racing. Not as big of a turnout as last week, but still, I think the competition was a lot bigger this week. So there's a lot more fast guys joining, and I just think that's good to have a lot of fast guys in here. I'm just glad that everybody came out, and hopefully everybody had a good time. I know we got the servers up quickly tonight, a lot quicker than last week, so hopefully we can continue that.
Yeah, everything went good. Hopefully we can keep having good nights like this. And just want to give a shout out to GUI and Pressure for doing admin things behind the scenes. And obviously, thanks again. A big thanks to you, Kellen, for streaming this for us and giving us some action to watch back.
Absolutely, guys. I appreciate it as always. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and sign off the stream here in just a minute. But thanks to both of you guys. Thanks to AOMX and everyone that puts on the series. And next week, we're heading to Belgium. So thanks, guys. I'll catch you later.
Thanks, man. Have a good night.
All right. That is done and dusted. Round 2 of AOMX MX Bikes Racing. We are still streaming bikes, people. I know you guys are like, what? He streams bikes? I don't understand. Yes, we're streaming bikes. So another fun race night. Really cool to see Rax have some strong motos as he tries to take it to the rest of the world tomorrow for Team USA. Again, like I said, if you guys are fans of MX Bikes, MX Bikes of Nations, trying to help out our guy Navo get more people over to his stream tomorrow. So twitch.tv/Navo009 to watch the MX Bikes of Nations. That's starting at 4:30 Pacific, or Eastern, I should say, 1:30 Pacific. So get over there if you guys can. Other than that, big shout out to the AOMX crew as always for inviting me on, and all of you guys for tuning in to watch round 2 of the championship. We'll be back next week, next Friday, for the round in Flanders, but hopefully you guys have a good rest of your weekend and rest of your week, and we look forward to seeing you guys then. So long for now.
Thank you.